Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I feel like I slept, but I'm still so tired. I think it's because my mind has so much going on. Um, we have a big Halloween party on Thursday at the house, and there's 75 kids coming. I don't even know how that happened or how I'm going to do that, how that's going to be fun for anyone. Um, so, okay, so a long time ago, I did a coffee talk. I'm going to try to find it and see if I can repost it about sometimes when we're offered another day, it isn't because we need it. It's because somebody else needs us. And that always stuck with me because I think about times and situations where I want to give up, where I want to quit. And it would be no slack off my back if I gave up or if I quit. None whatsoever. But I think about the other people who would be affected if I stopped doing coffee talk, if I didn't, whatever, I don't know. And I realize that sometimes our contributions are bigger than us. We don't share always. We don't give always for us. Many times when we share or give, it's because somebody else needs the message or needs what it is we're giving. One time I was sitting at a business lunch and I was sitting with two girls and a guy, and the guy was telling stories. And I'll be honest, by the fifth story, I was fading. First of all, I have ADD. Second of all, I'm not good at that. I'm such a multitasker and I have so much busy work to do that a lot of times I struggle to stay focused on numerous stories. And he's telling this story and I'm trying so hard to focus and I think surely these girls must be ready to kill themselves. And I turn and look at the girl next to me and she's like this. And it hit me that me being in that situation, listening to that story, had nothing to do with me. It was for her. She needed the message. She needed the story. I was just part of the process. And it sort of rechanged my focus. So while I understand, certainly, that the Bible says something like, the right hand doesn't always have to know what the left hand is doing. And I think part of that, wasn't there somebody in the Bible that God said, you don't have to let everybody know you're praying. It's fine. Just go up there and pray by yourself. I know. Nobody else has to know. I think a lot of that is true in prayer, for prayer. But I do think that sometimes when you see something, when I see something, that we go, why are they sharing this? Why are they showing this? Why are they giving this? I don't need this. You don't have to show it. I get it. But a lot of times it isn't about us. It's about the younger generation who is lost in social media, who is trying very hard to find their way, who sometimes need to see better ways. I had no tools growing up. None. I didn't have a digital series in the morning giving me this much hope that there is a better way, that people are at least trying to be nicer to each other. Never had that. I didn't have a mom who had the foresight to think about teaching me in the moment, in the experience. I was left to form my own thoughts on a lot of things. Didn't make her a bad mom, made her a product of the 80s. You know, it was whatever. You see a homeless person, it wasn't cool to socially educate your children when they're 7 on homelessness. That wasn't like cool. It was a different time in New York City then. You know, it was just different. I shared stories of my kids feeding the homeless and Olivia's awakening, and I got at least 40 messages from people saying, my children feed the homeless. This is what we do. Here's pictures of us. And it's how we are united in what we are trying to do. We don't always have to agree, and we certainly won't always agree. But the bigger lesson here is there are other people watching in life. Forget coffee talk. In your life, your children are watching. They are watching what you do. They are watching your example. If you want to use the Bible, some people are just always going to be more comfortable with that. And that's fine. I'm not always comfortable with it because I'm certainly not an authority. Many times I can't even remember what part of the Bible I heard something from. But if you remember, Jesus also said, and we just talked about it a week ago, when Mark came to him and said, they're out there doing good and they're not giving you credit and they're promoting their good works. And Jesus said, let them do it. Anybody out there doing good, please do not interfere. If you are not doing good, certainly do not interfere with those who are. And I love that. We don't always have to agree, but just remember that in life, in every part of your life, people are watching. Some people are learning. Some people need desperately what you have to offer. How many times have you shared a coffee talk video and someone has messaged you and said, oh my God, I don't know who that woman is, but I needed that message. I needed that today. That isn't about me or about you. That is her or him. That is what they need. So often, what we are contributing, what we are sharing is truly for other people. There are 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds in this community who so desperately need your comments, who read your uplifting, I've been there, I've been through it. My daughter and I, sorry, I did not mean to give anyone the finger. My daughter and I went through that. My husband and I went through that. I had a baby young. It worked out fine. I got to, whatever it is, you're sharing in the moment for yourself, but the message is for someone else. So when I or anybody shares something that doesn't serve you, let it go. It's not for you. That message is not for you. But you can't know that that message isn't being put out for someone who desperately needs it. Why would anybody want to interfere with that? I wouldn't. I see things every single day on depression. I'm not depressed. But every single time I see the message, it reminds me to pray for those who are struggling inside their own minds. The message is not for me, but I need to hear it. It's good for my soul. I post things about losing babies. How many of you took the time to respond and say, I'm so sorry for your loss? You didn't lose a baby. That wasn't your experience necessarily, but it mattered to you. So just remember, when you are sharing things, you are sharing partly for yourself, but mostly for others. When you are receiving messages, you may not need the message being received. It doesn't mean that you don't need to hear it. It doesn't mean you may not need a reminder. It doesn't mean that the universe, God, whomever, isn't saying, hey, this is what I needed your eyes to see for whatever reason, because you don't know who's coming down into your life 5 days from now, 1 month from now. So just be mindful of what you put into the universe, because people are watching. It matters. You matter. Your message matters. That's why we're here. And I clearly, need to get more sleep. Ugh. Okay. I love you so much today. It's Terrific Tuesday. Everybody's going to have a great day. I just know it. I love you. Have a great day.